हेलो। आईपीएल सीजन में एक बार फिर से हम आपके साथ जुड़ गए हैं और वीकेंड्स हम सभी पहचानते हैं कि खास इसलिए भी होते हैं क्योंकि दोज आर द डेज दैट राजश्री स्पेंड्स मोर टाइम इन फ्रंट ऑफ हिज टेलीविजन वॉचिंग द गेम। अब मैं इसको वर्किंग कैटेगराइज करूं या वॉचिंग द गेम करूं वो मुझे नहीं मालूम है, लेकिन कल कितने घंटे गुजारे राजश्री आपने टीवी के सामने?
बहुत टाइम मुझे एक्चुअली आईपीएल के टाइम पे अंजलि टाइम का पता नहीं चलता है बिकॉज ऑफ द एक्साइटमेंट, बिकॉज ऑफ द एड्रेनलिन रश एंड बिकॉज ऑफ सो मच दैट हैपेंस। आई मीन देखिए, पहला मैच तो ठीक है, चलिए, आई थिंक इट वाज मोर और लेस इंटरेस्ट था, हमने बात की थी, और दिल्ली कैपिटल्स ने they sort of vindicated my stand, right? They winless after 3 matches. Chennai Super Kings, Mumbai Indians, हमने बात की थी, Wankhede is their fortress, right? And they completely capitulated. Even with Deepak Chahar pulling up with a hamstring injury, you saw that boundary that Rohit Sharma hit. His eyes lit up, and he saw Deepak Chahar injured. He made the most of it. Unfortunately for Mumbai Indians, they couldn't capitalize on a decent start from Ishan and Rohit. But the standout, obviously, was the way MS Dhoni used Ravindra Jadeja. 3 wickets for Jadeja. Again, हमने फैंटेसी टीम की बात की थी. मैं बार बार कहते रहता हूँ कि आप वेन्यू पे आप before you place your bets with your fantasy teams, look at the toss, listen to pitch reports, listen to what the conditions could be like, because we've seen varying conditions at the same venue.
Yeah.
वानखेड़े में हमेशा हमें पता था कि पेस बाउंस होता है, बैट्समैन लाइक स्कोरिंग द रन्स. कल दोनों हुआ. Apart from, I mean, batsmen scored runs. Rahane for one, and Ravindra Jadeja with his left arm spin got 3 crucial wickets. और रहाणे की innings देख के मतलब it was refreshing because he hasn't had very high takers in IPL auctions of late. But remember, Rajasthan Royals के लिए उन्होंने जब वो ओपन करते थे उन्होंने अच्छी शुरुआतें नहीं हैं. There was a time when he scored 6 boundaries of an over. He had that aggressive streak. He was part of India's ODI squad for a while. He was being talked of as a possible middle order batsman before the 2019 World Cup. I don't know what happened. A lot of things happen around Indian teams that you find very hard to explain. But yeah, I mean, Rahane, remember, he's been discarded from the test side. So that was the only format he was consistently playing for India over the last 3 or 4 years. And to come in and do that for Chennai Super Kings, or there is something about, you keep telling me that you support the Super Kings. You don't know why. It's not just the Dhoni fandom, but even for an IPL neutral like me, watching from the outside, it does feel like there's something about that yellow jersey boss. Whoever turns up, whether it's a young guy, whether it's a so-called old guy like Ajinkya Rahane, he's obviously a seasoned pro, wrong side of his 30s. He looked so good and didn't look for a while like he had been away from domestic cricket. Even then, you draw comparisons between Rahane and Pujara. These guys were dropped together from the test team after the South Africa tour. Pujara obviously scored some runs in England. He got back into the test team. But Rahane is not back yet. And Rahane has not had the best of time in domestic cricket. But oh goodness, he looked good. He looked good yesterday. So that was nice.
And nice to see a smile on your face and saying, "Oh, he looked good." Sometimes I'm like, "Oh my God, he's being so miserly with his अपने मतलब किसी की बड़ाई करने कर रहे हैं किसी के." तो I'm happy कि रहाणे के बारे में आपने इतना अच्छा बोला. I
नहीं,
hope
खेला भी
रहाणे.
उन्होंने उस तरह से, खेला भी उन्होंने उस तरह से, दिल खुश कर दिया उन्होंने. देखिए, T20 at the end of the day is about entertainment, right? Whether it's with a bat and ball. I don't agree that entertainment comes only from high scoring games. You could also see thrillers with the bowlers dominating, and there should be pitches like that where the batsman's skills are tested in the ultimate conditions. But yesterday was a day for both Jadeja as well as Rahane. And Jadeja has been spectacular for India in Test cricket. I believe he's India's biggest match winner in Test cricket at the moment, the way he bats and bowls. So it was good to see him get some glory in. And Anjali, also remember what happened in the context of the Super Kings last year. Remember, MS Dhoni stepped down as captain. Jadeja was handed over the reins. Jadeja stepped down. Dhoni comes back. Dhoni goes and sort of uses very harsh words against Jadeja. Apparently, Jadeja is not happy with what happened. Chennai Super Kings only win 4 out of their 14 games, finish ninth, and this time they are looking so good again. They won 2 of the 3 matches, and Mumbai Indians again winless after 2 matches. Delhi Capitals winless after 3 matches, and this is the point where matches keep coming hard and fast at you. And before you know, you're 5, 6, 7 matches down, and with only 1 or 2 wins, and the points table starts to creep in.
Yeah. That's when you want your players and the ones you can bank on to finally show up. चलिए हम आज की बात कर लेते हैं. वीकेंड चल रहा है, 2 मैचेस की कतार लगी हुई है. हम अपने दर्शकों को एक बार जो मैचेस हैं वो भी दिखा देते हैं. सो वी जस्ट पुटिंग दैट ऑन द स्क्रीन. Gujarat Titans. So another team which has been doing exceptionally well. आपने आज के ये जो 2 मैचेस हैं, पहले जो फर्स्ट मैच है उसकी बात कर लेते हैं. उसके लिए क्या टीम बनाई है? अगेन यू विल हैव अ प्रॉब्लम ऑफ प्लेंटी, बट आपने अपनी तरफ से क्या टीम तैयार की है?
एक्चुअली आप मेरी टीम देख के थोड़ा सा सरप्राइज होंगे. इसमें सबसे पहले you'll notice I don't have शार्दुल ठाकुर. Again, when you're playing fantasy cricket on your apps, you'd obviously want to make multiple teams to stand a better chance. So I have Sai Sudarshan today, Sunil Narayan as my vice captain, Sai as the captain, Saha, Ramanullah Gurbaz, who scored such a gutsy 50 at Eden Gardens, David Miller, Rinku Singh, Shubman Gill. I've gone a little batting heavy and all-rounder heavy with Andre Russell, Rahul Tewatia, Hardik Pandya, and Rashid Khan. Even Sunil Narayan, he's practically an all-rounder. But here is the deal, Anjali. Shardul Thakur, a lot of people would be like, whoa, there's no Shardul Thakur. But that was Eden Gardens. This is Ahmedabad. One. Two, again, Shardul Thakur, will I be banking on him to bail you out all the time? As talented a cricketer as he is, when I'm putting some sort of sense and perspective into a fantasy game in Ahmedabad, I would look at a little safe. I'd like to play a little safe. So I've gone with some of Gujarat Titans' proven customers, Shubman Gill, for example, and this is in Ahmedabad, GT's home ground. You saw what they did to the Chennai Super Kings in the season opener. So I have kind of fiddled it around. But again, if I'm making a team for later this afternoon, I would look at a couple of other combinations. I would look at whether I should fit Shardul Thakur, whether I really want to have Andre Russell because he essentially bats very, very low down the order for KKR. And again, wait for the toss. Wait for the toss, see whether KKR are chasing. If KKR are chasing a biggish total, and if they don't send Andre Russell up the order, and if he comes in under pressure, so you have to make a lot of permutations and combinations in your mind as well before you finalize the fantasy playing 11 before the start of the game. But again, massive, massive, massive call to make for today's game. Like you said, problem of plenty.
ये हम बार बार अपने दर्शकों को बताते रहते हैं और डिस्क्लेमर भी चलाते हैं कि ये, और जो राजश्री कह रहे हैं वो सही है कि इतने परम्यूटेशंस एंड कॉम्बिनेशंस करने पड़ते हैं इस प्लेइंग 11 को, फैंटेसी 11 को बनाने के लिए. इसलिए वेट कीजिए, जैसे कि वो कह ही रहे हैं कि आप टॉस का वेट कीजिए, पिच रिपोर्ट सुनिए, उसके बाद डिसीजन लीजिए. और ये हम आपसे पहले भी कह चुके हैं कि जो भी आपको यहाँ बताया जा रहा है वो उनके एक्सपीरियंस से वो अपनी राय दे रहे हैं, तो अपनी समझ का इस्तेमाल भी आप जरूर कीजिएगा. चलिए मैं आपके सब ऑप्शंस को अब ऑन द स्क्रीन कर देती हूँ.
Gee. So there you have Umesh Yadav was the only guy from KKR, and Vijay Shankar, again an all-rounder. Technically, he doesn't bowl that much. Again, it depends on who is bowling first, who's batting first. If say for instance KKR are batting first, you can always add an extra bowler. So you have those calls to make. But again, in the first KKR lineup, you would obviously expect Umesh Yadav to start. You would also expect Vijay Shankar to start because he is one of those guys that can give you a sense of solidity in the middle order, and you saw that in the last game and his partnership with Sai Sudarshan. So again, like I said, permutations and combinations are very important. And also remember, certainly, again, I'm repeating this on the show, there are three kinds of teams that you want to make at the offset. Go all-rounder heavy, because most of these guys will bowl. They could also make an impact with the ball. Someone like Rashid Khan, he will obviously bowl his 4 overs. Again, he could make a major dent when you're chasing, and you suddenly get a 15 ball 40 from Rashid. That is worth its weight in gold. Also look at Sunil Narayan. He hasn't done much with the bat of late, but he could be a dangerous customer, right? Same with Andre Russell. Same with Rahul Tewatia. Rahul Tewatia can suddenly pull off a miracle with the bat, and you never know how he can change the game. And 2 or 3 overs of his left arm spin could also surprise opposition, and it has often enough in the past. So you and also Ridhiman Saha again, great wicket keeper, even at this age, and he could give you those solid starts. So those are certain calls that you have to stay and take.
चलिए आपकी लिस्ट तैयार है आपने हमारे दर्शकों को दे बेटर राइट इट डाउन जो भी इनके सजेशंस हैं बट मुझे थोड़ा सा इस बात का भी दुख है कि आज केकेआर फैन हमारे साथ नहीं जुड़े हैं थोड़ा सा उनकी टांग खींचने में मजा आता है साइरस हमारे साथ होते हैं तो यू नो केकेआर का मैच है थोड़ा सा वी लाइक टू पुल हिज लेग एंड आई थिंक समटाइम्स वी गैंग अप ऑन हिम
एसआरके के फैन है ना वो तो ठीक है
तो ये आप हर बार बोलते हो कि वो एसआरके के फैन है केकेआर के नहीं है
क्या है मतलब मैं भी एसआरके फैन हूँ मुझे भी बहुत पसंद है वो लेकिन आईपीएल न्यूट्रल फिर भी
ओके दो आई थिंक वो इस बात को नहीं मानते वो उनके मन में कोई ही इज आल्सो लाइक दैट जैसे मैं कहती हूँ ना सीएसके का मुझे पता नहीं कि प्यार क्यों है लेकिन वो भी यही कहते हैं कि केकेआर को मुझे पता नहीं बट आई लव केकेआर आई एम सपोर्टिंग केकेआर खैर चलिए साइरस हमारे साथ अभी नहीं है कुछ दिनों में जरूर जुड़ेंगे वो हमारे साथ तब उनकी भी लिस्ट आपके सामने होगी यू विल हैव मोर ऑप्शंस एंड मोर राय जिसे कहेंगे सजेशंस टू चूज फ्रॉम well this is what we have for you for the first game but if you want to get our suggestions for the second game as well I suggest you stick with us just a little bit longer so second game जो आज रहेगा हमारे लिए खास वो भी आपके स्क्रीन पर हमने डाल दिया है for me you know राजश्री मैं यहाँ पर थोड़ा नॉर्थ साउथ खेल करके ना एक टीम को सपोर्ट करने लग जाती हूँ मैं आई एम वेरी सुपरफिशियल आई मस्ट से तो और साथ में यू नो आई हैव दिस मे बी अगेन वो जनरेशन वाली बात हमने जो कही थी आई यूज्ड टू लाइक युवराज his game and everything and initially his connections with Punjab so you know तो थोड़ा सा ये है कि मैं पंजाब को सपोर्ट करती हुई यहाँ आपको नजर आऊंगी बट फॉर यू टेल मी आपके लिए इन दोनों टीम्स में से कौन सा मनी जिसपे जो घोड़ा जिसपे पैसा लगाया जा सकता है वो है
देखिए पंजाब किंग्स आर लुकिंग मच बेटर बैलेंस्ड again the thing is this game is in Hyderabad right so Sunrisers Hyderabad playing at home support matters a lot and again you आपने एक बात बताई आप नॉर्थ साउथ करके आप सुपरफिशियली टीम को सपोर्ट करती है बट आई डोंट थिंक दैट्स सुपरफिशियल एंड आई थिंक दैट्स ओके राइट बिकॉज़ दैट इज हाउ द आईपीएल इज played I mean that is how all leagues are played city based loyalty hoti hai state based loyalty hoti hai player based loyalty hoti hai I mean a guy sitting in Ranchi suppose Chennai Super Kings you don't need to understand rocket science to explain that phenomenon right so a guy sitting in Calcutta might support Gujarat Titans for the exact same reason. So there is a lot of complexity with fan-based loyalty, and I completely respect that because as long, I mean, even though I don't fall into that category, but I can understand and respect that those kind of emotions. And as far as this game is concerned, again, Palra Bhari Punjab Kings ka hai Anjali because, like I said, the balance. They take a lot of confidence from their win over Rajasthan Royals the other night in Guwahati. Um, and I think captain Shikhar Dhawan, very very cool, calm, collected personality. He looks even calmer. He looks dapper with his hairstyle, and he's that kind of a character. He just oozes self belief and confidence, soft spoken, and that's how he actually is behind the scenes as well. So it's not a show for the cameras to look, to explain that look how calm I am. That's the kind of personality he is. As far as the team is concerned, Nathan Ellis has been in splendid form for Punjab because it's in Hyderabad. Again, going by past experience, I want to put a little punt on the Pacers. That's why I have Nathan Ellis and Arshdeep as captain and vice captain, both from Punjab. Jitesh Sharma, dangerous down the middle order. Prabhsimran Singh, he obviously had a great game last time. Shikhar Dhawan, I don't want to go in without him because he's been scoring runs. One of only 3 in the history of the IPL to go past 6,000 runs. So you'd also want to have Rahul Tripathi. He's done so well for Sunrisers over the past few years. Unfortunate that he hasn't got a lot of opportunities for India, but I want to see him long term in the T20 side. Sam Curran, I hope Punjab use him better with the bat at least. Didn't have a great time with the ball. Bowled a good last over against the Royals, but you want to see a lot more of Sam Curran. Possibly bat at number 5 would be my call. Washington Sundar, again, a fine all-rounder, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Umran Malik, and Kagiso Rabada. So, like I said, I've gone with a pace-heavy lineup on this fantasy 11, but also I would recommend a balanced lineup for a venue like Hyderabad to make more, to give yourselves better options of some of your players ending up in that final dream team to make more on any app-based game that you're playing. And the sub option. Sikandar Raza, again, another all rounder for Punjab Kings. You have two pacers, T. Natarajan and Kartik Tyagi, and another all round, Abdul Samad. I love this guy, Abdul Samad. He can, those big hits, a great fielder, very committed cricketer. So, yeah, like if you're making these options, you're taking these calls, obviously you have to wait for the toss to see who's unannounced, who's in the substitutes. And then again, the fun part of this season is that you have to wait till the toss and look at the substitutes and make a call from 4 or 5 players and figure out whether he can be a part of the playing 11 later. So that also is a very instinctive call. Someone like Ambati Raidu, someone like Abdul Samad, will they be part of the playing 11? If they are substitutes, if Hyderabad is batting second, will they use him in a steep chase? So those are calls that you definitely want to stay put. And again, like we keep telling you, at the toss.
So this was an interesting article that was printed recently, I think in Express or something, जो कि इस इम्पैक्ट सब रूल के बहुत एंटी था. वो कह रहे थे कि आपने बेसिकली जो गेम का डीएनए है उससे ही आपने खिलवाड़ कर दिया कि ये तो प्लेइंग 11 तो अब रहा ही नहीं, आपने प्लेइंग 12 कर दिया है, बेसिक गेम के साथ छेड़छाड़ कर दी है. तो ये जो इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर का जो रूल है वो सबको नहीं भा रहा है, मुझे लग रहा है.
Actually, Anjali, there is also a lack of understanding of the impact rule. I mean, depending on when the suggested article was written, before or after the
अभी
IPL started.
इस वीकेंड में
In that, before the IPL started, Anjali, a lot of tacticians and analysts and coaches, assistant coaches raised questions. Okay, there was this thing called the X Factor introduced in the BBL, in the Big Bash League in Australia. You had something called the Super Sub in Wanderers a few years back. Now you're looking at the impact player, where you can announce the teams after the toss. Now you're also mentioning 5 substitutes. More often than not, you can make a plausible guess and figure out, okay, this person is going to be your impact player, because if you have 4 foreigners, you can still name 3 foreigners in your 5 subs for a team. But obviously, you know that that foreigner is not going to be part of your impact player, is not going to be an impact player for you. I think how this could have been tactically more relevant would be if you said that, look, let's announce the teams before the toss and don't give that advantage to the captain winning it. Now, what you've done is with the impact player, why I'm okay with this still is, despite my contradiction in the earlier statement where I said that, look, if you announce the teams before the toss, that would be tactically more challenging for the team management to think of an impact player after. I'm also okay with that is because often in India around this time, the toss plays a major role. So you're taking the toss advantage away from the winning captain and making a more level playing field. For a team batting second, they can then think of an extra batsman. So the due factor, again, a lot of teams are very worried about how the due would hold on and how their bowlers would react, whether chasing becomes easier. So there are a lot of factors, and I completely understand. Like I said at the start of the IPL, again, drawing inferences, why has the impact play rule been made? A, to take the advantage of the toss away completely, balance it out. Second is to give more opportunities to Indian players. I mean, again, most teams would play with 4 foreigners in the playing 11, but we also said that a trend is going to catch up when you could see 3 foreigners being played, like Mumbai did in the first game, and you bring in a 4th foreigner as an impact player. So a lot of things are going to play, but I think it's a great move. It's a great innovation. Depending on how you see it, depends on which lens you're seeing them from.
आई गेस. और ये भी सही है कि आप किस्मत का फैक्टर हटा ही दीजिए ना. लेट इट बी अ गेम ऑफ स्किल एंड टैलेंट. तो आपने टॉस हटा दिया कि कौन पहले बैट करने आएगा. वो आपकी स्किल पे तो डिपेंड नहीं कर रहा था. टॉस तो इस पे डिपेंड कर रहा था कि किसकी किस्मत अच्छी थी, उसने कॉल कर लिया. तो ठीक है, वो हटा दीजिए. उसके बाद आप अपने डिसीजंस ले सकते हैं. जो आपकी कंडीशंस हैं उसके हिसाब से आप अपने डिसीजंस लीजिए, अपने स्ट्रेंथ्स को प्ले कीजिए. आई थिंक दैट आल्सो वर्क्स. खैर बट इट इज ये ऐसा एक टॉपिक है जो कि लोगों को बांट रहा है, ये जरूर दिख रहा है। खैर इसमें भी पता चल जाएगा जब तक ये सीजन एंड होगा कि कौन लोग इधर है और कौन लोग इधर है, एक क्लियर डिवीजन की नजर आने लगेगा। आपकी टीम्स मैंने दिखा दी हैं, मैंने आपके जो इम्पैक्ट सब हैं वो भी हमारे दर्शकों को दिखा दिए हैं। आई होप इससे आपको मदद मिलेगी अपने फैंटेसी 11 को चुनने के लिए। फिलहाल हम यही कहेंगे कि have a good day, enjoy your 2 matches that are lined up, or Rajeshri, it's time for you also to head out then. Bye.
Alrighty, thank you so much. See you on Monday.